I have a confession to make. I've been wanting to start a podcast for a while now, but all the time something was off. Mostly I lacked the convenient way to create podcasts and webinars, and all that changed a few weeks ago when I discovered Riverside, and it changed the way I see podcast creation. How are podcasts usually made? Each person records their webcam feed, sends all that to a host, and the editor later stitches that together. Difficult and time-consuming. Another way it's usually done is by recording everything on one side, but that makes the podcast not flexible. None of those options fit me. Riverside, however, does. With Riverside, you just start a studio, send links for people to join, and record everything from your side. Well, let me show you. First step, create a studio, click New Studio and enter the name of this new studio. Then choose what you want to record, audio and video or just audio. Lastly, select the transcription language. Riverside supports a ton of languages, so everyone's covered. And here I am in my studio. Currently there are no recordings, but that's where they will be. Now let's hop on the call and actually test things out because Riverside has a lot to offer. Its developers envision it as the best tool for creating podcasts, video interviews, talking head presentations, webinars, and so on. And the list of features reflects that by adding a pinch of AI to the mix. And here we are, me and my guest. Inviting a guest is as easy as sending them a link. To a naked eye, the interface looks familiar. It looks like any other meeting app. But here we have a few important differences. The most obvious is the big red button record right here at the bottom. Clicking on it starts the recording of this conversation, and it's not like the screen recording. No. It's a proper recording with separate tracks for video and audio of each participant. I will show you how to edit that later. Right off that button is another button that lets me choose which microphone I want to use, and next to it is the similar button for video. Here I switch to AutoPOD C1 and boom, the quality gets much better. Riverside FM supports the webcam footage of up to 4K resolution, which is absolutely crazy. This takes such a mundane thing as a podcast and turns it into a professional showdown. The best thing is that the footage from a webcam gets recorded and uploaded to the cloud as you go. In the browser window, we see the tuned down low-res version, and in the final file, it's full-fledged 4K. Another helpful and important feature is the script. Once I click on that, the special text box pops up at the top where I can write anything to say. It's basically a teleprompter. Only a host sees this, so if I was hosting a podcast with many guests, it would have been super easy to follow the plan and ask the right questions. Of course, there is also chat that anyone can use. It is just a chat, not much more to say here, because there's also a media tab full of various little sound effects that can be used in real time, such as clapping. It seems silly, but it actually is useful since it replaces those stream decks that are typically used. Now, once we're done recording, let's hop into the editor where Riverside really shines. Here I can change basically everything, from enabling and disabling audio tracks to changing the layout of the speakers. I can choose this layout or this or even this, anything I want. With a click of a button, I can get rid of pauses, making the podcast more streamlined and dynamic. On the left part of the window is the transcript. It takes a few seconds to process the audio once the recording is stopped, but the results are well worth it. This transcript is word for word exactly what we are saying. And it not only sits there, the selection follows the transcription as I speak. I can edit out the words and the timeline will adjust accordingly, cutting out the words I deleted from the transcription. It's really useful for precise editing that can be daunting at times. The same transcript can be later used for creating captions straight from the editing page. No need to export text and video separately and then manually time things. Riverside does it automatically, no fuss mode. I can also cut the timeline, edit the pauses out, and so on. It's a simple part, but here it's definitely easier to do than in any professional video editing program. Once I'm satisfied with the editing, I can export the video as a video file in resolution of up to 4K. In the same export menu, I can turn on audio normalization, removing of background noise and watermark watermark removal if needed. Now, if we look at the list of my recordings, we see even more stuff. One, I can export the video straight into Adobe Premiere, and it's gonna be a real project with tracks, timings, and all that. And second, I can manually download the transcription as a text file or as a special SRT format, or I can just copy the text directly. Also, there is this magical generate magic clips. Magic clips are basically the most interesting parts of a podcast selected by AI and edited together. It's a super fast way to create TikToks, YouTube Shorts, or Instagram Reels. It really is that easy. Press one button and download the videos. Saves a fortune on editing. And the AI here is smart. It knows what to look for, emotions, debates, or good arguments. And now I have to fire the editor.
You're fired!
With Riverside, creating podcasts and interviews becomes easy, no more worrying. Just press record and start talking. It can't get easier than that. If you want to try it out, I will leave a discount code for you in the description that will give you 15% off any individual plan. Thank you, Riverside, for sponsoring this video. Thank you guys for watching, and see you in the next one.